Welcome to Valley Sports Plug. I'm your host, Michael Benjamin, joined tonight by Jacoby Brissett's Brisket Baker, VSP Tallman. Tallman, how you doing tonight, my brother?
Oh, Mr. Benjamin, feeling good, doing good, feeling good. I mean, dude, that intro cracked me up because I forgot my Dallas Cowboys fans' tears. I needed that to drink on this live stream right here. But I'm doing good, man.
We're going to get into it tonight, and there are plenty of tears still flowing in Arlington. But if you're joining us live here on YouTube, watching the playback, or listening on podcast services, we love y'all. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Valley Sports Plug YouTube. And don't forget to follow us at AZ_VSP on all socials to stay up to date with everything Arizona sports. But Tallman, tonight we're jumping in the DeLorean. You and I are going back to the inception of Valley Sports Plug, breaking down a Monday Night Football 27-17 dominating win in Jerry's World with this week's recap of the 2025 Arizona Cardinals. But right off the rip, I need one phrase that you would use to describe last night's victory over the Dallas Cowboys. What do you got?
Oh man, dominating defensive output. A football team that finally put together four full quarters of play and closed out a game against a powerful offense. It was incredible.
It was a beauty to see. And let's start this recap with the Arizona Cardinals, fresh off a 5-game losing streak and a reset bye week heading to Dallas to take on Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and a top 3 offense in the NFL helmed by previous offensive line coach Clayton Adams. The first drive of the game sees the Cardinals making a 4th down stop deep in the red zone, followed by a 15-play, 60-yard drive, including 3 straight long 3rd down conversions by Jacoby Brissett to put the Cardinals up 3-0. And that first drive of the second quarter sees second-string quarterback Jacoby Brissett find Marvin Harrison Jr. on an ankle-breaking in route on Duran Brand, putting him on skates truly to put the Cardinals up 10-0. After the Cardinals force a fumble and don't capitalize, Pat O'Donnell's punt is blocked. Well, Tom, it really was kicked into Marshawn Nealon's head, and the Cowboys covered in the end zone, cut the deficit to 10-7. Other than that blemishment, the Cardinals put together 11-play, 74-yard drive, capped off by a Brissett sneak, helping the Cardinals head into the half with the lead 17-7. Then the second half saw the Cardinals receive the first possession and play deja vu with another 74-yard touchdown drive, but this time in only 3 plays, including a 50-yard catch and run to wide receiver to Michael Wilson and a beautiful 12-yard out to the league's best tight end. Don't joke about it, people. Trey McBride to take a commanding 24-7 lead. There's really too much to get into, so I'll leave the people with this. More sacks, more turnovers in the fourth, cement a 27-17 Monday Night Football victory on the road, stopping the bleeding momentarily and breathing life back into a squandering fan base and squad. Tallman, I'll give you the floor. What did you see in Arlington on Monday night from this Arizona Cardinals squad?
Man, I had fun watching that game. And if you're on social media all weekend, you're reading, so my Twitter feed is just completely screwed up because it's just people, it's all sports betting, right? So people were absolutely slamming this Dallas Cowboys, betting all over the Dallas Cowboys money line, the spread, which I was shocked too, because I drank some of the Kool-Aid, I guess. But coming in is the spread was only -2.5. And I was like, that didn't seem like it was right. But of course, Vegas always knows. I thought for sure it was going to be a rough game for us, or it was going to be a struggle to try to stop this high-powered offense from the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they're top 5 in most of the offensive statistical categories, so far this season. And how the game started, Michael, I don't know about you, but it was a chunk run by Javonte Williams, followed up by another chunk run by Devontae Williams, a pass to Pickens, a pass to CeeDee Lamb. It was just chunk gain after chunk gain, and they drove just with ease, drove down the field in the Cardinals territory. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. This is what it's going to be tonight. It's going to be an absolute struggle for our defense to stop these guys. But talk about a tone setter right off the rip. I mean, the Cowboys being cocky, going for it on fourth down on the opening drive there in Cardinals territory, and then just Josh Sweat showing up, man. I mean, if we had to pick a player of the recap, Josh Sweat would be my player of the recap because man, he proved why he was worth all that money on that free agent signing because he was all over the field wreaking havoc, recorded the 2 sacks, but right there, right off the bat, Josh Sweat coming in with that sack on that fourth down was incredible. I mean, from that point on, the defense was tight. I mean, they came to play. It was incredible, and of course, Walter Nolan had that tackle for a loss at that right before the sack by Sweat. So, but man, looking at just what really my biggest takeaway was all the contributions we got from the rookies, man. I mean, all around, just this was a great game for the players, the coaches, for even the front office, for Monty Ossenford, because we saw some of these draft picks pay off. I mean, Walter Nolan, right? We're going to talk about Walter Nolan and his NFL debut. Even Will Johnson was incredible. That pivotal strip sack, or excuse me, not strip sack, that pivotal strip by Cody Simon coming in, filling in for Mac Wilson. I mean, that was a pivotal play in my opinion, where it just totally took the momentum away from Dallas. And then of course it was fourth and forever at the end of the game. Dak threw it up, but the rookie Denzel Burke coming in and securing that interception. So it was incredible to see that. But going back to the offensive side of the ball, I mean, you couldn't look on Twitter or social media without seeing that Marv touchdown. And it's crazy. It was a 4-yard touchdown, but I mean, you probably saw the reactions from CeeDee Lamb when he was looking up at the big screen there in Dallas, where his reaction just said it all, man. I mean, that poor guy, what was was it Bland or
Duron Bland?
Duron
Yeah.
Bland. And he's a top cornerback too.
He is, man. I don't know if he's been an all-pro before, but I know he's been a Pro Bowler at least once or twice. But yeah, put him on skates, to say the least.
He really did. That was the definition of an ankle breaker right there. And poor guy's got to watch that over in the film room all week. But no, that was great. I mean, they went to Marv early and often. I mean, even the Michael Wilson, dude, so that was the first drive coming out of in the third quarter, in the second half. That 3 plays, 71 yards, I think it was. I mean, we scored in a blink of an eye. I mean, that's just not something that we're used to seeing this team doing this season. And that play, that pass to Michael Wilson for 50 yards. I mean, talk about just an incredible throw by Jacoby Brissett to stand tall in the pocket, fit it right in the window, saw the window perfectly, stuck it right in there, hit Michael Wilson in stride. And dude, that was outside of the Marv touchdown. I mean, that was one of the best plays of the game there. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible. But just the production from Jacoby Brissett. I mean, if you look at his stats, I mean, he had a decent really good quarterback rating. I mean, didn't wow you with the yards, but I mean, he did everything right. He protected the football, and he did a lot of his damage on play action under center, which we're not used to seeing a lot of that too with the other quarterback, right? But just Jacoby Brissett on third down, man. It's like, it always felt like it was third and long. We were just lost. I mean, go back to the Titans game where it's 3rd and 8. We handed it off. I mean, how controversial that was. But just after just this game last night, as well as the previous 2 games with Jacoby, it was like, damn, it's 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15. And wow, he ripped it right in there across the field and we picked that up. Like that's something different about this offense. And that's where Jacoby Brissett is making his impact. But the fourth quarter, I mean, we know the defense has been incredible first, second, and third quarter throughout the games this season. But the fourth quarter has just been, just the kryptonite for this team, this defense. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it better. I mean, with the turnovers, with the last drive of the game by Dallas, just the old man Calais Campbell coming in, recording. He's basically the closer right here. That dude, he did this to the Carolina Panthers, did it again to the Dallas Cowboys, but to record 2 sacks on the final drive at the end of the game, where, I mean, I know he doesn't play every snap, but dude's got to be tired, man, at that age, playing basically the entire game. but that was just an incredible showing defensively. I mean, that's what I thought we had in store week in and week out coming into the season, with all of the investments they made with draft capital, with free agent signings to the defensive side of the ball. This is what I expected. I mean, how did you now? I mean, we're so talented on that side of the ball. It was just very refreshing to see the pressure early and often, and it stayed consistent throughout the game, because that really, in my opinion, threw off Dak Prescott. Had a huge impact on the outcome of this game. But if I had the tears right now, I'd be drinking them, man, because there's not a better team to beat than the Dallas Cowboys, especially when you're the underdog and you go to their home stadium, absolutely packed to the brim with Cowboys fans. I mean, that it's a beautiful sight. It's a beautiful sight. I enjoyed it, Michael.
You really just have to think about where this Arizona Cardinals team was about 2 weeks ago, coming off another basically last-minute loss to the Green Bay Packers, losing 5 straight in a row, this team being truly competitive in every single game this year, but finding themselves really, really far behind in a loaded NFC West. This was a true test to see the mental fortitude of the Arizona Cardinals for what's going to happen, I think, in the second half of this season. It could be easy to sit down and just say, let's chalk it up this year, gentlemen. We already see every other team in the NFC West sitting at 6 wins. We're 2-5, and we're going up against one, if not the best offense in the NFL, statistically, at least for the Dallas Cowboys. And what did this team do? They utilized the bye, and they focused on a great game plan to really put a chokehold on this Dallas Cowboys team the entirety of this game. You can chalk up what you saw within the fourth quarter. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of moving the football at that point. But when you have a 3-score lead, as we have seen from this Arizona Cardinals team to a certain extent this year, you get a little lax. But that brings up the major point where I have to follow up on this defensive unit from what we had seen the previous 2 weeks. You really just talk about that kind of last-ditch effort drive from the Cowboys, trying to make it a 3-point game, starting with just under 7 minutes left in the fourth. And Tallman, you said it. It was a huge rookie showcase. You had that huge first down sack by Walter Nolan. Then Will Johnson holds up Javonte Williams. Man, that tackle, it looked like he was shot out of a gun, but he really held him up to get Cody Simon in there to hit that strip. And that second effort from Javonte, it was a true coming out party from the rookies. You already touched on Calais Campbell, the ageless wonder at this point. But either than the guy we're about to talk about, I have to give a huge shout out to Denzel Burke, who was basically thrust into duty with Max Melton going into concussion protocol. He had already got some time earlier this year with all the injuries we've seen in the quarterback room. But this is where you get excited about some of these young draft picks coming in and making plays early. And a guy who's been on that high of a stage, a product from Ohio State. You could say the same thing about Cody Simon. But, he had that 4th down breakup on CeeDee Lamb. He led the team with 6 solo tackles. He didn't even start the game. He has 2 passes defended. And then, he did have the duck INT thrown at the end of the game to seal it. But that's how great he played. He deserved to have that game-sealing interception to celebrate with his teammates, man. But I'd be remiss. We have to touch on the 16th overall pick, the Ole Miss product, Walter Nolan. Tallman. Wow, it was amazing to see this guy come out and produce right away after missing the first 7 games of this year. What did you like and what did you see from Walter Nolan in his first NFL experience, man?
Well, it was about time, right? And what I liked, I mean, he had an impact on the game immediately, and it's without a doubt. Just looking at what he did with the sack, he had 2 tackles for a loss. He had a pass defense. I think he had a quarterback hit. It's like his impact. He had immediate impact on this, and it makes you think. I mean, is he the missing piece here? I know we got Garrett Williams back as well, which that's obviously something that we've been missing for the past couple of games too. But him coming in immediately, sliding right in. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start to a young career for a first round pick. I mean, obviously you can't expect this type of output every single week, but I mean, even if he's not putting up the stats, he can still, have his presence felt in every single game with the pressure and whatnot. I mean, he's looks like he's the game wrecker that, was sold to us when, he was drafted so early, because there was a lot of worries about him potentially being a bust. I mean, he only had the one really good year at, it was Ole Miss, right? He went to Ole Miss. Yeah, he had that only really one standout year at Ole Miss where they didn't think there was a lot of tape on him being, a winning football player. But I don't know, man. His start here in the deserts, well, I guess his start in Dallas, but you know what I mean? His start here in the desert with the Cardinals it couldn't have got off on a better foot. I mean, he's just look at that. Incredible stuff. But is he the missing link? I mean, after you put this out, man, it's like you did this to yourself, Walter Nolan. I mean, we're going to expect this out of you every single week now, because that's I'm joking, of course, but hell of a first NFL debut there for the kid. It's incredible.
No, you don't have to joke, man. It's okay to have some expectations from your first round picks, man. I mean, we can talk about Darius Robinson kind of falling flat on those expectations right now. But the biggest thing that I saw from Walter Nolan is just the violent nature that he plays with within his swim moves, his spin moves. Anytime that he is coming off the ball, he truly is a hunter, man. He is going after and getting at it to make a play. And what did we talk about on the last Heat Check podcast? I was wondering who that guy is. Who's going to be that guy on either side of the football that's consistently going to get after it and see when you need that game-changing play or something to slow down an offense if they're rolling, or if you need a key third down, completion, who is that going to be? And I'm very hopeful that it's Walter Nolan. But with that being said, Tallman, I think a guy who is starting to come out of his shell just a little bit is the other first round pick from last year, Marvin Harrison Jr. And obviously we saw the quotes come out from Papa Marv. It's very hard for me to watch the Cardinals offense. I believe these quotes might have hit the day before Monday Night Football. He said the style of offense that I am accustomed to, that I'm used to watching as a professional eye, as a wide receiver, I just can't relate to watching the current offense, that style of offense. Basically, I can't relate to what goes on there. I think that's just peacefully put, without pointing fingers or anything. It's just me. I'm giving you the professional eye. I can't relate to it. It don't add up to me. I can't deal with it. Marvin Harrison Sr. is showing the frustration that I think a lot of us Cardinals fans have felt within the first year and a half of Marvin Harrison Jr.'s career, knowing that he is a ball player. A lot of us labeled him as a generational talent, but he just wasn't given the proper opportunities. And we did talk about, before the game, or no, at post game, Jacoby Brissett kind of talked about how there was an 11th hour change to get Marv involved really early. They started to see that quick, one-on-one coverage. And I want to say almost all of those third down conversions on the first drive went directly to Marv. So the player that needed to make the plays to continue drives is the guy that we are pinpointing, obviously alongside with Trey McBride. But before we talk about Marvin's showcase that we just saw in Dallas, what did you think about Marvin Sr.'s comments, Tallman? Can you align with those?
Oh, geez. Well, I'm sure he enjoyed watching last night. And it's funny. I mean, it was the story was dropped by, was it Josh Weinfuss? He's employed by ESPN, right? So this was by ESPN. And then of course, Monday Night Football is on ESPN, and there's a lot of upset people out there that couldn't watch the game with YouTube TV, including myself. But I think it dropped. It was Monday morning, I think, right at 6 a.m. I believe. But that's all designed for them to build up some juice. I mean, for the game, but I can't align with it. I mean, he's not the first star wide receiver that fans have had to listen to what their dad had to say. I mean, go back. Same thing happened with Larry Fitzgerald, and Marvin Harrison Jr. handled it perfectly. I mean, just like Larry did, that's his opinion. It's not mine. And, Harrison Jr., addressed that, made it clear. And he said, and even Senior said that too in the article. If you went through and read it, it's like, I want to be very clear. This is not me feeding my son. This is not me, um, speaking for him or whatnot. I mean, there's no pressure there, but it's like, obviously there's built up frustration from Senior's part. And then of course you're going to listen to the guy, or, it's going to go somewhere in your mind if you're in that coaching staff, where he's a Hall of Fame player. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The guy's a true stud, and NFL, he's a Hall of Famer. It's like someone's going to listen to it and it's going to fall in somewhere, but it's like, did it really have an impact on that Monday night game and his usage to where, oh shit, we pissed off Marvin Harrison Sr. Let's change our game plan and let's just target Marv, a bunch right off the bat. I don't align with it. I mean, it's what he hasn't played in the league for 17 years. I mean, it's also, he had Peyton Manning throwing him the ball forever. I mean, for him to have the comments of, oh, if I was in this offense, they'd take away my Hall of Fame jacket. I mean, that's some damning stuff for him to say, but can you argue with them? I don't know. I just don't really see where the benefit of this is. And I mean, Mike, you've played a lot of sports growing up. I'm sure, I don't know if your dad was super vocal, but like, that's the last thing these players want to see, is their parents step in and say stuff like that. But I think Marvin Harrison Jr. handled it perfectly and with class. Obviously he's learned a lot from his father, and he just reminds you day and day of a young Larry Fitzgerald, and hopefully that's the trajectory he's taking with the Arizona Cardinals. But just a funky story. Really, just, I was surprised, honestly.
And it was surprising. Of course, it comes out the day before a national televised game for his son to make an appearance. So maybe that was strategic, but I love what you said too about, the dad thing. How many times have we seen it in the NBA where guys' dads are getting involved a little bit too much, like John Morant's dad or Tyrese Halliburton? Obviously, those guys weren't all world players or Hall of Famers in that sport. So it is a different league when you talk about that. But one thing for sure, Tallman, is that Marvin Harrison Jr. is truly a buttoned up individual at this point of his career already, which is incredible to see. And you have to think that some of that obviously is from his father's experience. It was truly impressive to see him come out on the national stage, man. I will pound the table for this, how so important it is for your big time players to make their names known in front of people who don't get to see them on a consistent basis, especially when your team is not winning, right? It's going to be far and few between that the Arizona Cardinals are going to get these really high leverage games, especially for the rest of this season, unless they go on a run, and possibly for the next couple of years, depending on what's going to happen with the quarterback position. Are you going to find yourself with multiple Monday night games? I mean, crap, dude. I think Dallas had Monday night this week. They get Monday night next week, but they are the Cowboys. They are a little bit in a different league. I will understand that in regard to national media attention and whatnot. But that does bring me to a very, very big, probably the biggest factor of what we saw from this Monday Night Football win is when Jonathan Gannon was asked right after the game, are the plans to go back to Kyler Murray once he is healthy and returns to the field? And basically he said, nothing's changed. As the weeks have gone on since Kyler has been out, it has been less and less that we have been getting from Jonathan Gannon, right, Tallman? But obviously today, since we are on a short week, Jonathan met with the media and he had this to say. Let's hear it all together.
Really good football team. Our guys will be enthused about the challenge that lies ahead. As it relates to the quarterback in Seattle, Jacoby will start, and Kyler will keep working on his health bucket. I do like what the offense is doing right now. We've operated well, and we'll go from there. As it relates to the game.
So, Tallman, obviously, I think we all saw the writing on the wall with the way that Jacoby Brissett has performed these past 3 weeks. Even though he did lose the first two, those two matchups were against two of the best the NFL has to offer this year in the Indianapolis Colts and the Green Bay Packers. And for him to come out and perform like I said, I'll double down on the national stage performance, because how often have we seen the Arizona Cardinals lay goose eggs when it comes down to national TV presence? But let's start off with, are you surprised that it was announced so quickly that Jacoby Brissett will be the starting quarterback when we go to Seattle this upcoming week? And what have you liked about Jacoby's game over these past 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm not too surprised that it came out this early. Because I mean, you can't, and Gannon's usually pretty good about it. With, you don't want to create any type of distraction or uncertainty where, I mean, the locker room knows exactly who's starting and everyone gets the game plan together. I mean, it makes sense that, he came out and said it, especially with they doubled down on the Kyler Murray health, where now it's a 4 to 8 week recovery. Not sure if he's going to IR. It's like, still there's a lot of question marks around that injury, when it occurred, and how they didn't know the full extent of it. It's just strange. But with Gannon, I'm not surprised that Gannon even said nothing has changed, because he's flat out coming out and not allowing there to be a controversy with the quarterback's position, because he could string the media on, the fans, and say, oh yeah, this is, we're looking at this at all different angles. And, there could be this type of, competition going on where, he's just putting it all to bed, saying Kyler Murray's our starter when healthy. And when he's healthy after 8 weeks, will that be the case? I don't know. I don't believe it. There's just so much weird stuff going around floating around with this injury, and how short and weird he's been with answers on some of these questions, where I wouldn't be surprised if you, myself, and Chris in attendance of that Titans game, that we might have witnessed the last Kyler Murray start for the Arizona Cardinals ever in his career. I wouldn't be surprised by that. And I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there that wouldn't care if that was the case. They'd be probably excited if that was the case, if Kyler Murray didn't play another snap for the Cardinals in 2025. But going to what we've liked with Jacoby, I mean, again, when we're going through kind of the recap of the game last night, and how we've said on multiple times about his game over the last 4 weeks, is the dude stands tall in the pocket. He shows toughness. He takes hits. I mean, he said it himself. He said, stand there, get hit, get back up, stand there, deliver the ball, get back up. I mean, that's something he's been quoted as saying. Like, that's what he's done. That's been the big difference here. I mean, the dude hangs in there. I mean, he's playing a lot better than I expected him to be. And his arm has been incredible, man. I mean, he's able to see the windows over the middle of the field, maybe some stuff that Kyler Murray can't see, where obviously he's a lot shorter. Jacoby Brissett, 6'4". I mean, he's a big dude. He's able to take these hits. But he's also, he's not athletic, which we've said multiple times. The dude's not fast. He's not a Kyler Murray type quarterback. So he doesn't really have a choice but to sit in there and be your prototypical quarterback and deliver the throw and take the hit. But that's what has allowed this team to succeed. That being under center, and then the play action has really played into it, where, he's finding wide open receivers, which it just seemed like it was a struggle the first 5 games with Kyler Murray, where, I mean, the only people that were catching the ball was Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison, because it was almost like they were being force fed. Where now it's like you see the ball being dispersed around the offense. I mean, the Michael Wilson throw, in that first drive there against of the third quarter, where for that one that went for 50 yards, I don't think Kyler Murray could have made that throw, because I don't think he would have been able to see that window. And I watched it with Chris too last night. And when that play finished, we both looked at each other and we said, no way in hell Kyler makes that throw, just because it's not in his skill set. And I mean, if you think that's false, I mean, this is year 7 and we're sitting here. We have so much tape and experience with Kyler Murray. And that's the first thing we say about that type of throw. Kyler Murray can't do it. I mean, there's something wrong going on here. But I mean, Jacoby's he's the toughness, man, is the biggest thing for me. I mean, he's sitting in there, he's fighting. Never seems like he's given up at any point in any single game, where he's fighting for his team. And I mean, he's played his ass off. And these are the Colts game. I mean, I said it on here before. That was the best football game we played all season up until last night. Last night was the best football game this team as a complete unit, aside from our backup punter sucking ass and kicking it into the guy's head. But all jokes aside, I mean, we've seen this team play some of the best football all season with our backup quarterback in. So, and that's hats off to Jacoby Brissett, because like I also said, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that he's been able to do this. I mean, just incredible on his part.
The one question for me that continues to linger, and I think it's obviously a question that you don't have to sit and stew on, or you really shouldn't, is, if Kyler Murray stayed healthy the entirety of this first half of this season, would Jacoby Brissett ever been given a true opportunity? It seemed like Drew Petzing and specifically Jonathan Gannon were completely committed to Kyler Murray through the high times and honestly a lot more of the low times, which we have been through in their entire helm of this regime, to be honest with you. So put that to the side. We don't have to worry about that because truly the new era is here for the Arizona Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett has come in and breathed life back into this offense that was truly sputtering. You lost basically your top two running back options in James Conner and Trey McBride. Still seems like we're a few weeks away from Trey coming back. But all he does is consistently throw for over 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, controls the ball, doesn't turn it over. And now you add even that little sneak opportunity in there, which we never do with Kyler Murray because he is too small. It adds a different, kind of give and take to an offensive system. And with that being said, with the give and take, we know that obviously Jacoby Brissett, he gives up athleticism, right? Whereas Kyler Murray might be able to get outside of the pocket and run for those first downs. Tallman, you said it perfectly. I mean, Jacoby is either going to sit there, find the read, go through everything, make the play, or probably get sacked. We have seen him get out a couple of different times and make some plays, which he's going to. But he's a grizzled veteran. He understands that his bread and butter and the reason why he's been able to stick around in the league for so long, even in a backup position, is that when his number is called upon, he understands that he's a guy who's going to have to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. And that is all he has done so far. In 3 games, he has 65% completion percentage, 6 touchdown passes. Like I said, 2 per game. He's averaging 286 yards passing per game as well. You look at Kyler's first 5 games, he averaged 192 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He did complete 68% of his passes, but you talk about Jacoby Brissett's average of 8.1 yards per attempt. Kyler was sitting at the lowest. He statistically the lowest in the league at about 4.2 yards per pass attempt. So there's just a different style that Jacoby brings to this offense. And to end off the show, Tallman, it's time for the Kyler Murray check-in. It probably won't be our last, even though if what you're talking about might be the last time that we see Kyler Murray on the field for the Arizona Cardinals. But let's pull this up, man. As of last week when we recorded Heat Check Podcast episode 44, you and I were sitting pretty close. I was at a 7. You were at an 8. I'll give you the floor, man. Where are you sitting now?
I mean, it's got to go up. I'll go 9. And you're probably thinking, you just said he probably played his last snap as Arizona Cardinal. How is it not a 10? But I'm going to go 9 just because I don't know, man. It's hard to not. I'm hoping that you're probably in that 8-9 area as well, because I mean the entire fan base is calling for the guy's head right now. I mean, you even have national broadcasters of Troy Aikman and Joe Buck on Monday Night Football saying Jacoby Brissett, this offense is way better with Jacoby Brissett. There's no way you can go back to Kyler Murray, and it's been the talk of sports TV today. It's hard not. His seat is on fire. Come on. It's impossible to say it's not. But I'm going to go 9, and it's not going to be a 10 just because, I mean, and this is not a knock to Jacoby Brissett, but there's got to. I'm expecting some type of drop off from Jacoby because he's the hot hand and we're riding the hot hand right now. But every hot hand will turn into a cold hand, right? At some point in time, he's going to come out. He's going to have a bad game or a bad stretch of games. And Kyler Murray's totally healthy. I think Kyler Murray's is going to have another chance to play this year. And if you're the front office, you're going to want to put some more tape together of Kyler Murray because what he's produced for you in 2025, that tape isn't the best tape when it comes to putting him up on the block and trying to sell him. So, I mean, especially if the season's just totally out. I mean, you're in dead last in the NFC West. I mean, we have a little bit of life this week, right? We can be optimistic and hopeful for this week going into Seattle. But if we get our doors blown off us in Seattle, lose to San Francisco, I mean, at that point, it's like Kyler Murray's healthy. Go back to your starting quarterback, right? And then see if he can put together something nice and try to get rid of him. But that's why I'm not going full 10. I envision a 10 coming in pretty soon from me, probably in the next couple of weeks. But I'm going to go 9.
Everything's on the up and up. I mean, you just truly have to think about the ineptitude that Kyler Murray was consistently showing when he was helming this offense through his first 5 games. You can even talk about the 2 wins that they had. You know, the New Orleans Saints have the football to go and tie this game and push it to overtime. The Carolina Panthers have the football to win it. And then obviously you lose to possibly the worst team in the Tennessee Titans because of your inability to close games, and the play caller and head coach truly, let's not joke about this, not trusting Kyler Murray when they need to get things done. It's an unfortunate situation at this point, Tallman. You know, the history of Arizona sports and the number 1 overall pick right now have been built on the backs of DeAndre Ayton and Kyler Murray. And to a certain extent, yes, DA was part of that NBA Finals run, but there was so many more headaches with him than successes that truly came from him completely being the guy, right? Kyler Murray has been given the keys for 7 years, and he has consistently got worse. But the problem that I see with this, you do still have to put a little bit of blame on Jonathan Gannon, Monty Ossenfort, and Drew Petzing, more so on the first 2 guys, because they are the ones who brought in Drew Petzing, and they said, Kyler Murray is our guy, but they just never truly built an offensive system around him properly, I feel like. You know, Drew's time within Cleveland was run dominant, but he had a little bit different type of playmakers at the quarterback position than Kyler Murray is, right? He is a different type of individual, and you really have to get strategic to put him in the proper ways to be successful. And they just have never found the key ingredient for that, except it seems like the key ingredient right now is Jacoby Brissett because of the style. I mean, Amari DiMercado had a great night last night on the ground, right? I think he had over 74 yards and on 14 carries. Bam Knight was getting involved. You were still seeing those screens, but it wasn't just immediate first options. Those play actions were really keeping them biting. And yes, everything's with a grain of salt because you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, who, as much as we give them praise for their offense being one of the best in the league, that defense might be the worst, other than the Cincinnati Bengals. So, you know, the tough part about this situation is I don't think that people, specifically Arizona Cardinals fans, can truly look in the mirror anymore and say, Kyler Murray is the man of the future. He's the quarterback that will take us to the promised land. The era is officially over, and it was cemented with a dominant win in Dallas. Now, I sit at an 8 because it's almost like a pizza review, right? You can't go all the way to the top unless he's actually gone, right? I could be at a 9.9 when all the rumors are swirling in June and July before training camp starts. But the one thing I do worry, and Tallman, you said, Jacoby's going to take a lot of hits. He's going to get sacked because he sits within the pocket, and that's fine. But they're going to have to make some kind of adjustment with Jonah Williams on the right side at that right tackle position, because he is going to get Jacoby hurt. And if that is going to be the person that you slot out there, and they should just try Kelvin Beachum at this point. If you're going to run him out there consistently and not give him some kind of step over help, we will see Kyler Murray again this year, unfortunately. This is where we find ourselves, right? And there's still a lot to fight for at this point in the season. Even though we find ourselves sitting firmly back in 4th place in the NFC West, 3 wins behind all 3 other teams, but you have a very key matchup coming up going to the Pacific Northwest to go face Seattle. You got the Rams twice. You get the 49ers at home, which you and I will be in attendance for on November 16th. But man, it just was overdue for Cardinals fans to get a win. This team has been fighting so hard this entire year, and for them to consistently fall flat has been really hard to watch. But for them to show out on the national stage, it always is something special. But Tallman, I think that's where we got to end it out for tonight. I'll go ahead and give you the floor one more time, man. Let the people know what's going on. What are you looking forward to for the next couple of weeks with the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. This has been fun. And it's always nice to talk about a win, because we went 50 days without an Arizona Cardinals win. And if you look back on this weekend, talk about a hell of a weekend for sports teams that are in Arizona. I mean, you were there Friday night. Suns beat the Jazz. Suns shocked the undefeated Spurs. ASU, I don't know if you watched that ASU game, man, but Jeff Sims, holy crap. I mean, they shocked Iowa State there. I mean, U of A won, Cardinals won, and then what? Your U of A basketball team, they beat Florida. How about that? That's crazy. I think that's the first time a team that won the national championship lost their season opener, which, I mean, just piling all that up, that's a hell of a week. Hell of a week for Arizona sports, and boy, did we need it. 50 days without a Cardinals win. That's just crazy.
That's way too much. I don't think we will see that again for the rest of this year. This team is going to consistently be competitive to finish out this season. This team is still bought into Jonathan Gannon. Obviously, the way that we react during a 5-game losing streak is going to be like we're all jumping off the bridge. But it was great to see them come off the bye, reset, get that win in Dallas. And let's see where we can go for the rest of this season, man. But Tallman, always a pleasure for you to join us, man. If anybody's watching back on playback streaming services or podcast streaming services, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to us here on YouTube, and follow us at all socials at AZ_VSP. Next week, we'll be back with another live stream. It'll be a Heat Check Live where Chris Patrick will join us. Myself and VSP Tallman will obviously be there. We'll talk a little bit Suns. We'll talk about ASU football, if they can run the table and maybe still have life for a Big 12 championship berth. I don't know. And then obviously we'll break down the Seattle versus Arizona Cardinals game. But until then, I'm Michael Benjamin. That's VSP Tallman. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.